Okay, so let's look at how to make flowers with this. Okay. And there are different type of flowers. There is one with this which can made using Hydra also. Like for example, this one is like single layer, but when you look from above, it have actually two layers. One is here, one is behind, and if you look here as well, there are like two layers of it. And then we have sunflower, which might have one and two, might have three, right, variations. And then we have some crazy abominations like this, which is like petals closing and opening, which is like so advanced, and maybe I will test it out and will make. But what I wanted to make was a simple flower, right? And we can try sunflower also, or we can try the other one as well. So let's try making sunflower using these. Okay, so I'll put this here. So now we know we can make it using simply. I will put advanced segment. Okay, we have it, and now we'll quickly set it up 2 meter, just 3 centimeter maybe. Is fine. And okay, so the one thing is we just can, we don't have an angle yet, so we can simply give it a slight angle, or we can just make a hydra and put it. We'll make a cluster out of it, and we don't need that many. I need three to maximum five. Okay, and the radius, let's bring them closer, and you can give it variation. So it's 90 degree, and you can give variation. And inside here we have we can play with this, and as going up, so this one, I think this should be, so not in, maybe, and we'll reset that one. Okay, so we accidentally made it negative. Okay, so it's turning mostly on the top. Now we have it in here. Leaf is again self-explanatory. We can make it simply, you know add leaves in there. Leaves will not add for now because we are working on the flowers. So this is a segment, and we can, you know add another segment. Now we can add simple one also, another segments. But this one we don't want it to, grow this thing. We say okay, we can only the tip of the segments. Okay, the angle you can make it 0, so it's just pointing outwards, and it's blended. Now come to the segments, it should be not this one, and this one, it should be point 1. Okay, so what I'm trying to make here is we can say okay, user defined, and you see this is what I wanted to have. So basically the bird behind how it will look. So we have it and we can reduce it more. And surely we need more segments to make it look good later on, but it's here. Okay. So the segment and everything we can control if it do not blend well with the other thing. So we have the thing cap we don't need. We can, in the segment we don't need cap. So cap we can remove if you want. The bottom cap definitely we don't need, and the top cap you can have if you want. But overall, this is basically the backside of the flower, the green bud, and then we try attaching a orkin to it. We can have a hydra also, so let's give it a hydra, and in the advanced segments we'll have this hydra. And in hydra we again we want at the axis, we want at the tip of the segment, so it will be here. It's not visible at the moment. So this is the main clusters, this is the flower, and now let's make the flower. Okay, so you see it's shooting outwards. So in hydra, in the advanced segment, in the hydra we have this angle which we don't want, and let's reduce the count for now so it's do not crash. And then in hydra, we have radius which will make, match almost our thing. 5, good. And scale and everything we don't need to change, even the standing outward thing that will change in here because here, zero point 0.1 the length, radius 0, we create blades. Look at that awesomeness. Okay, let's see. And we can have width. Okay, it's too wide basically. So we have something, and again we can come to header and control it. First we select the bare width and load, and let's have the beautiful. Do we have any? Yeah, this one. Okay, so we have it, and then we can simply play with the shape a bit to have something. 0.04, 0.03. Okay, let's keep it this. Yeah, and we have it, and already we have this, and we can make it slightly, and you can add more. Let's say if it hold, because we don't have segments, and let's to get this, like we have in here. So you copy this height, you paste filter, and you got this. And because it's really sensitive for some reason, it's like for some part it is not that sensitive, and sometimes it is really, you really. And again this one, 3, we control it is really too much. Yeah, so we got roughly section going up and down basically to reduce the segments. Now we have all these. Now it's the time to play with the Hydra. So we create more of these, right? And 30 and radius is fine. We can give a slight variation. So we get something like that. And now it's the point of we play with this. You know, I give it slight 15-degree angle and give variation, five variation in this, five in the axis. Maybe I will give it 10 and maybe 10. So we have more variation. Let's reduce this one. So we have more variation, and this one we can give more if we want to. So we got a bit variation in here, and the section is not that well, so we can have this one in here in the center. We can go inside. It's really sensitive, which it should not. Maybe we can control that. And section height we can control like that. It went the other way. Let's just go with this for now. Okay, so we have the petals and we have them different scales. Now we can come to influences and we can, perturbation, or let's add noise to it, and frequency we can increase. Right, so it is a bit controllable. Maybe let's make me 0.1 if we make, because it's bigger when it's smaller. So yeah, so I don't know how much bigger we can make it so it become really tiny. So okay, so we have our petals going around, which is good. And now we need the center part. Okay, so center part is again we can take. We don't need the. So we'll spin them here. So these are the petals. So I take a new children and add our kin. Okay. Again, on here on the Urkin, we say we want it at the tip of the segments against angle 0. It just will be a sphere on the top. Now select the Urkin and we say radius 0.1 to see how big we want it to be. This is the center part we are making. So 7. Okay, let's go with this one. And we can you know push the pivot in. So make it 0.5, so it's half inside. Yeah. And you see it's not anything is there, and there is nothing else we can do at the moment, but we continue for now. And there are like these tiny seeds on there, and the seeds could be ball. And again, this is really big, 0.001. We need them to be tiny. 0.01, 0.05. Yeah, that's fine. And in Urkin we can increase the number, right? So we got something like that. It's not exactly that, but we got something. I'll make it 1,000, just for fun. Now now you see it's going beyond. Okay, it's not looking right. So that's what we can do here. We can, because, and also the face is almost is flat. Okay, so what we can do, we can select the origin. Okay, and first of all we need to do the start of it from 0.45 or zero point 0.5 maybe. Okay, the rest of it doesn't matter. Now we don't have any way to scale it other than in transformation, so you can scale it in the Z here. I will say zero point 0.1. You see it became flat. And now you can, you know, come back into Quicken, and we have its pivot offset, which you can make it, bring it back. Okay, so we have it here. But you all not also notice the ball is also became flat, right? So in the transform you say, okay, I don't want to inherit the scale. It will get back to the 3D shape again. And now we have it, the scale of seeds in the corner is large and here is small. So as we know, we can in the ball. Okay, so it have material is that radius its own. So in Urkin, we have scale. Okay, so we say, okay, in the graph, while going, after reaching here, they should start becoming small. Okay, it should be small compared to the other in the corner. Okay, and we can give it scale also too, so it become like this. And another thing, we have density, right? So we can copy and paste this filter. Now you see, but we want it to be, you just hold on to this filter and it convert to vertical, so you flip and it flip. Okay, so you can move it. So we say, okay, density in the start should be less and there should be more simply. Okay, so let's try. Okay, so it will be less here, more here we need, so that we can change here. So see, we reduce the number of it and we can do more, less in the start because we have, right? So we have something like that, and still we haven't used this variation. We can do variation, we have some variation, and also I don't think here we have anything other than that. So we got our flower mesh. And as I said, like, you can come to this and you can say, I do want this to be this big and here, and adding leaf is not an issue at all. We have this, we bring a new children and we say, okay, add one segment, which is, shooting from the angle, which is good. And and here we can change how we wanted to. We obviously per unit is good, and alternate roll don't want, and this one 90, increase this first start 0.2, and zero point 0.9 maybe. Okay, so it's not going till the top. Let's come to the segments now. Here we definitely don't want it to be this big. Okay, we did not see the scale, so I'm going with the proportional one. And we need blades. Blade will be 3.3, and we load a shape from this one, so we get it right. So it's basically the same thing we have done before. So we can have give it a shape, and also in the segment we can give them gravity, variation, and also this ratio just keep going down simply. And the section, just quickly copy this, paste it. So you see we can, the last time we were wanted to have this, no, so we can get into this. And definitely we can load something. Let's load this one. and, and overall we can reduce it 0.01. So we got the leaf, and other thing is there. And now we can just simply, randomize thing. You will get thing, so that we can control. Also we can say okay, the radius 1, and if you want more, you have it. So we have basically let's, maybe we need a larger cluster. um, 5 is, and this is the one problem we had before also. So like it's coming in the circle, but if you want to distribute, so we can do something similar what we did with the shape. So I will take urchin, right, and go to transformation, and z scale I will say 0.1 here, and maybe make it 0.01, so it's almost flat. And you can we pivot offset we don't need to do, start we need to make it zero point 0.5, and we can make it 0.55 also. So everything, all the points will be on the top here. And we take the advanced segments, the only thing we and then we just plug in that, and you see we have it. But then you see everything become flat on there, because we, in the advanced segments, we are inheriting the transformations, which we just need to turn off. Inherit scale we don't want, you see. Now we got our cluster, and definitely it is let me delete this one. And we can have again, it inherit the angle. So we turn off the orthogonal, so everything is straight. And now we can play with angle. So everything have 5-degree angle, which we don't want. Okay, so we, which is good, like everything is outwards again. And we can say okay, 2-degree variation. And while in the center we want it to be less, so it's more straight. And also scale, while in the start we want smaller ones, and in the center we want the larger ones. We give 0.1 variation, so we have cluster basically here. And then we can, so it's basically scale. And you see the leaves also get scaled by the scale of the parent, and the number of them will be by the segment. And I believe for all of them to look in one way, we need to use the sunflower should look in one direction. Right? For that, I believe I haven't tested it out. So let's quickly test it out if that works or not. And we can do is in here we can in global biases we can add another one. We can say attractor. Okay. And attractor where we want to place it. For some reason I'm not able to see the gizmos, but we can give some direction, whichever it is. Okay. And so now everything is going toward that direction, and it's in -1, so we make it 10 as well. Now, inside the advanced segment influences in the global biases, you will find the attractor, and you can change the strength, how much you want it to be. Once it's everything is there, and segment tropism we need to reduce. See? So now everything is following toward that. Okay, so one direction. It's, you can change the strength is there, like how much is there. You can have a local bias also, so you can turn it on, and you can give it there as well if you want it everything else to be influenced by it. And I will in the segment I will just give 5, so we have variation some of them. Okay, oh, it's became super straight. Oh, it's we should make it. Okay, so yep, so this is basically all of them are following the same direction here, and this may be too much. And there is I believe we can reduce, and in the Urkin we have angles, and 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 even transformation, the rotation, you can you know rotate in their axis here. So even in the, sorry, in not in the Urkin, in the advanced this branch, so in the transformation you can rotate it on the z axis also. So if you want some variation, you can add here, they will, and let's add 10, so they will start falling on the different angles. So we got a cluster, and in the Urkin we can say, oh, we don't want your mesh, so we get a cluster. And in also in Urkin we gave 24, we can give, okay, you can get 8 variation. Now you simply randomize to get simple different variation. So I hope this helps, and the material and everything is the same as the before, but overall is there, like, so you precisely work in there. And I know you in here you can save them as a component also, which I tried, but for now it is not that friendly. But yeah, so this is how you can utilize Urkin and Hydra in multiple. And I can show another way for the Hydra. So you can do the same thing with Hydra also, if you want to. So let me show you. And if you add the Hydra, okay, and if I disable all these, I put D shortcut for that. It's easy. to disable basically. And this one is keep. So we have these like a graphs and everything, but it's not useful for that. But like for flower, it might be more useful in that. So we can create new one maybe. So I'll add advanced segment, and there is attractor. And let me in the global biases we can let me make it 0, so we don't impact everything else. And the segments I'll make it 1, radius 2, so we have less. So if we have hydra, and I'll make it 90 with variation of 5. So we have it here, and we have most of them straight, so you can increase the number, but you see the most of them just create a ring. But we can have this thing, we say okay, the start radius should be 0 or less maybe, right? And okay, and then it go into this spiral. But still, if you have this thing, you still don't have anything else. Okay, so you don't have anything. And you can, this is rotating them in their place. This is, again, we did not find anything that give us how we can make it go around. So there is one way I found, that you can add. So here we can add an angle. So let's try. There is, this is the angle, and let's. I tried putting angle here and tried playing with the graph. So let's try if this works or not. So if I um yeah, for the position it might not work, but I found like if you want something with 0 radius, right? And I say, so we have this going outward, and let's give it less variation. Okay, and we can say angle, come here, and we say okay, in the start it should be, let's make it other way around. Okay, and it should be less in the center. Okay, and we can here. Yeah, so we have less in the center. So now we can see, we do this angle, and it just rotate. So what I found, like you do 360 here, and when you come in the graph, you select this node, this point, and give it 5 maybe. So what happens? So it's rotated 5 times now. So now if I increase the number of things, so it somehow look like Urkin, and I can make it, you know, more in the point in the top, and you see we have its spiral, and we have distribution also. We say okay, we want less in the top and more in the base. So in the end, we got something like we have in Orchid. So we can reduce the now and more, and it will only work in the point. So if you increase the radius, it's gonna look like this. Maybe you need it for some cases, maybe at some point. But if you are increasing some, making something from one point like a sprout, so you can use hydra also. Although you don't need to, but I'm showcasing like how you can use the graph. If the value is not there, but you can use the graph to send it to beyond the point of its value, uh, per its local value, like 0 and 1. It's a local inherited position, or from the parent. Okay, So yeah, so this is something like you then you can sprout anything, like it could be a mouse or anything. So yeah, so this is it, and if you add a variation to it, it will become this will be really, yeah. So you add variation to it, it become look like Uchin which you saw actually in there. So yeah, so this is it. So you can use them smartly for your use case. It's not that many polygons also, but yeah, be careful if your PC is not good. But yeah, so if there is any specific, any different shape of flower you want to achieve, like I haven't tried the flower node, so maybe we will try at one point. So I will test it out, and then we will just make it. Okay, so yeah, just keep up the good work, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.